All right, welcome to the Pre-AP 6th grade math semester exam review for the fall semester. You should have the review, and I'm going to show you how to do the problems so that we can remember back of things that we've learned so far this year. You might want your star chart near you because that's where we're going to get a lot of information. So you might want that near you, and so that you can look at that and definitely can use it on the test. So that'll be good. So we're looking for the area of a parallelogram. And so if I look on my star chart to find the area of a parallelogram, it tells me area equals base times height. Remember, our base and our height have to be perpendicular to each other. So that means they have to form that right angle. So they can't be leaning or anything like that. So my base and height are going to be here and here because of the making that right angle. So I've got 10 and 6, and that's going to give me 60. And we're going to say units squared because of the fact that we don't have any label. Oh, no, it is inches. No, there it says inches. So we're going to make that inches squared instead. So I can write inches and squared there. Okay. Number 2, what is the area of the triangle in square feet? So if I look at my star chart for my formula for a triangle, I have area equals 1/2 base height. We're multiplying by a half. Some of us wrote down area equals base times height, and then we divide by 2 because a half is the same thing as dividing by 2. So my base and my height, I've got to look for those values that are those ones that are perpendicular. So I've got 8 and 5, and then I'll have to divide that by 2. Well, 8 times 5 is 40. Divided by 2 is going to give me 20, and it's feet squared because it was in square feet. Number 3, a jug contains 48 fluid ounces of milk. How many pints of milk does the jug contain? All right, so when I look at my star chart, I'm looking at ounces and I'm looking at pints and things like that. So it tells us that 1 pint equals 2 cups. Well, that doesn't help me with fluid ounces. Oh, but then it tells me that 1 cup is the same thing as 8 fluid ounces. Okay. So if I have 2 cups to get here, that means that would equal 16 fluid ounces, right? Okay. So 1 pint is the same thing as 16 fluid ounces. So I can use this and this. That's going to be the same thing. So maybe I set up a chart because I know I've got ounces and pints. And we now know that 16 fluid ounces is 1 pint. And if we have 48 fluid ounces, we're looking for how many pints is that going to be. So we got to figure out how can I get from 16 to 48? Well, 16 plus 16 is 32. So I can figure out 32 pretty easily. So maybe I figure out 32. That would double the 16 here. And so then I would double here to get 2. And 32 to 48 is actually, if I double it, I get 64. So that doesn't work. But if I add just 16 more, I get the 48. So I can combine those two to get that. Or I could say, oh, it's times 3 to get there. And so we could say times 3 here. So it should be 3 pints. Okay. So I could either combine or I could do the figure out that it's multiplying by 3. All right, so next page. How many centimeters are in 60 meters? So I have to look on my star chart to figure out what is my relationship. So I'm going to make a chart because I'm using centimeters and meters. You might use a double number line. That's fine. Whatever works for you, I'm good with. I'm showing you one way. As long as you can show your teacher how you solved it, we aren't going to care which way you use it if you're doing correctly. Okay. We know, looking on our star chart, that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. And we're looking for 60 meters. Well, how do I get from 1 to 60? I multiply by 60. So what am I going to do here? Well, I got to do the same thing. I got to multiply by 60. 6 times 1 would give me 6, and then I've got 3 zeros because I have hundreds. I've got 60 100s, which is 6,000 centimeters. So my answer for this would be 6,000 centimeters. All right, number 5. Mrs. Moore wants to fill her children's sandbox half full. That's going to be kind of important. Excuse me. Use a diagram to determine how much sand will be in the box. Well, I see a box, a three-dimensional shape, and it's for filling it full. That means I'm dealing with volume. And if I look at my star chart, here's what it says. Volume equals big B H. Oh, it's big B. We got to remember that. Well, big B is the area of the base. So that's the area of the base of the box. And to find the base, that's just this and this. So like length times width, and then we can multiply by the height of that. So we would take 5 times 10 times 6, and that would give us our volume that we would need. So when I do that, 5 times 10 times 6, well, 50 times 6, or I could take 5 times 6 first, which is 30 times 10. Either way, I end up with 300. But that's not my answer. Okay? And I have to remember back to this right here, half full. So if it was all the way full, it'd be 300 meters cubed, but it's half full. So I've got to take 300 and divide it by 2 to get my answer. So I should have 150 meters cubed. That will be my answer. All right. Number 6. There are 70 students on the school track team. Of these students, 21 of them participate in the running events. What percentage of the track team members participate in the running events? Well, I'm looking for a percentage, and I like double number lines best for this. You might like something else, and that's okay. But I'm going to set up a double number line, and I set mine up to where they're together here. And so we've got students on the track team. And we have percentage. Well, if there's 0 students, it's 0%. What about 100%? Well, all of them on there, that's my total, my whole amount, that's going to be 70. Because it says there's 70 students on the track team. All right, so now we need to figure out what percentage is 21. Well, if I count by 21s, it's not going to go into 70. But I know that 7 goes into 21. So if I were to back up here and get to 7, how did I get from 70 down to 7? Well, I divided it by 10. And that would give me, I do the same thing here, where I divide by 10, and that's going to give me 10%. So 7 is 10%. Well, now that I know 7, can't I say, oh, well, I can get to 21 here. How would I do that? Well, I would multiply by 3, because 7 times 3 is 21. So what would I do to the 10? Well, I would have to multiply by 3. So it should end up being 30%. So my answer, what percentage, is going to be 30%. Again, you might have done something different, and that's okay. All right, I'm going to stop this one here. This is part 1, and we'll do part 2 on the next video. We'll do the next 2 pages. Oh, by the way, if you're listening to this, put a check mark at the bottom of this page with a smiley face next to it. So a check mark with a smiley face. All right, see you in the next video.